you so much.
Like Jim said, we're so excited to be here. My name is Julianne Inglaterra. I'm the assistant principal at Central Boulevard, and with me is my friend and colleague, Dr. Lou Ritchie, and we're super excited to be here. This is the completion of our third year being an Energy Bus school, so it's been a long journey, and the purpose of this whole presentation is really to just flood you with ideas and strategies. Take what you want, but we're going to roll through pretty quickly to give you as many ideas as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be like trying to take a drink of water through a fire hydrant. So it's going to be a lot of information. That's why you have the QR codes on your table, so that whatever you don't catch, you can go and you can get a PowerPoint or slides or videos of them.
So we have a lot of videos and pictures in here. We're only going to show you like 20 seconds of the videos, but on your QR code sheet, there's full videos. So if you have time, on your travels home, you can watch them or look at them. So just a little bit about us. Like I said, my name is Julianne. I'm a proud wife, and I'm a mom of a 2-year-old daughter, Ella. This is my second year as assistant principal at Central Boulevard Elementary. Prior to that, I was a chairperson for 2 years, which was like a quasi-admin role, so I was teaching and admin at the same time. And before that, I was a special education teacher, all within the Bethpage School District. So I've been working with Lou for all 10 years of that experience.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to work with Julianne. My job, should just go back to the previous slide. Yeah, so my job, but more importantly than my career, actually, just go back a second. More importantly than my career, actually, is my role as a dedicated husband and father of 3 boys, 3 teenage boys. So you can imagine that my house is full of a lot of activity, a lot of noise, and a lot of mess. And I have with me today, my wife is celebrating our 24th anniversary. So she was good enough to come out. 25 years and not a single fight. Can you believe that? I just. But seriously, of course, family is number one. But I do feel like Central Boulevard is definitely family. Julianne is as much a family as any of my blood relatives. So I do take my job very seriously. I am a school and clinical psychologist. I've been a school psychologist for over 20 years. I have a private practice, seeing individuals in group and individual therapy. I do use positive psychology, which actually is a discipline within psychology. And as a school psychologist, working in building for 20 years, I've been a school psychologist for 25 years. A lot of my role was running around, putting out fires. I spent a lot of time doing crisis management, did a lot of time doing testing, CSEs. But my heart really wasn't fully in it because I just wasn't able to get around to every student. I felt like I was only touching the surface of the needs. And I knew that I had to build up the culture. There's an economic term called, it goes like this, that the tide raises all ships. That's an economic term, but I really believe that it applies to culture and it applies to social aspects as well. So you improve everybody around you, everybody gets better. So that's a little bit of what I'm about. I like to be on instead of being on the reactive, be on the proactive end. All right, so I'm just going to kind of mention this. A lot of people probably know or aware of the Castle 5, which is a group that created the standard for social emotional learning. I'm not going to go over all of them, but they're basically clustered into self-awareness, social skills, social emotional regulation, social skills, and problem solving. But more importantly about this is if you kind of look at the layers here, that any kind of good SEL instruction needs to kind of have like layers throughout the culture. So right here would be, the classroom activities that we do. Here would be, the school-wide culture, so everything that you've been hearing about today, our assemblies. Then we need to reach out to our parents, certainly, and, then out for the community. So it really does take a village and layers of intervention on an ongoing, consistent basis. So I'm just going to brush over this. I'm not going to kill you with data as a psychologist. I do appreciate data. There's a newer study, many more newer studies than this, but the landmark study was in 2008, which was a meta-analysis, so they took over 400 studies and they put them together, and they found some very significant results. They found increases in social emotional skills, attitude, positive classroom behavior, and they even saw raises in achievement, which is quite remarkable. And then they measured these gains after 6 months and they remained. So SEL is, this really prompted a lot of the mandates. So, SEL really does work.
Okay, so just to go back to Central Boulevard and what it looks like, we made this Venn diagram with all of our different SEL programs, and the newest one that we added was the Energy Bus for Schools program about 3 years ago. And I'm not going to go through everything that it says in here, but it just kind of shows that all of the things that we're doing, all the programs, all the teaching methodologies, and the Energy Bus for Schools program all intertwines around a positive school culture and about those relationships and about that connection. So this is what we believe in at Central Boulevard. So why the Energy Bus? Why did we choose Energy Bus? Well, personally, for the last 13 years, I've been reading John Gordon's books. When I was playing college volleyball and softball, my team was struggling with their attitude. I was a captain of the team, like, what can I do to make this better? So I read the Energy Bus, and ever since then, I fell in love with the ideas behind it, because it's relatable, it's easy to understand. It's not just for school, it's for life. And so when I became an administrator, and when I found out that there was an Energy Bus for Schools program, I was like, this is perfect. I ran to Lou's office. I'm like, we gotta do this. So, that's where we started. And this whole presentation is just gonna be where we started to where we are now. And it didn't happen overnight. So there's a lot of different ideas, a lot of trial and error, but we hope you can get something out of it.
And I just want to mention quick that one of the things I really loved about is that everything I knew about that, as a psychologist, about building up youth to, resilience, to connection, everything really checked out with, all of John's books. The more I hear about the principles that John Gordon is putting forward, the more that, I get excited and get more ideas, and I love all of the stories and allegories that really kind of helps lower defenses so you can get the message in. It's important for you to make these messages accessible.
It's actually hysterical every holiday, like around December time, I buy Blue a new John Gordon book. And that's his assignment for the year. All right, today's agenda, we're going to roll through our assemblies, what things that we do to build our culture, how we get our staff and our classes involved, how we get our students involved. We do PA announcements, so we'll talk about that and show you some videos, and then we'll talk quickly about our future plans.
All right, so our assemblies. The assemblies I really feel like are the anchor to what we do. It allows the whole building to kind of come together. We have fun, we go over the principles, and it's really amazing. We do a lot of dancing. We started off when we trained, I think Jim came in November. We did the 5 rules starting January, and we kind of stumped through them, but I think we had a good first year. The second year we decided that we were going to do all 10 from the book, and that was, I think, a little bit overwhelming for us. I felt like we were either planning an assembly or having one. So
they were awesome, but then the next second we were back in the office planning the next one. It was literally 10 months of the school year, so we're humble enough to say less than more.
So this year, we went back to the 5, and I think we had like 5 solid assemblies. I was really happy with them this year.
All right, so take a look at those 5 rules. You should all know them, but those are the 5 rules from the Energy Bus for Kids book, because we're going to have a little quiz.
All right, I'm just going to go over quick all the parts of the Energy Bus plan. So, click on that. So real quick, and you'll have a copy of this. You'll notice that we usually do some sort of cheer. Sometimes the students actually come in quiet. Sometimes they come in dancing or with music. We do cheers. They announce the classes as they come in. So we do some sort of entrance like that. Once everybody kind of settles down, we then we have an acknowledgement. So we acknowledge the passengers of the month and the students of the month. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Then after that, we talk about the previous rule. So, if it's rule 2, we talk about rule 1, and our librarian does that, who's very instrumental. She's like the 3rd spoke of this wheel. If you have only 3 spokes of the wheel, I guess she's like the 3rd part of this. But, so she'll introduce the previous rule, and then I'll introduce the new rule, which is like always my facet, because I'm a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to invite our very special guest, Julian Eagle-Tara! I go, you know her? You love her! So I've been working on my MC voice, which is like incredible, because like paying me to do this, I can't even believe it. And I just want to say that when I was coming here, on the plane, I just was filled with so much gratitude. It was like overwhelming, and this was something my grandmother taught me actually. You know, she was saying start each day with gratitude, and I really believe that. But this came spontaneously. Like I was.
Yeah, we've been manifesting this for 3 years.
That's it. So anyhow, I'm sorry. I introduced. She goes over rule. I introduce a rule. We usually do some sort of dance break. Then we usually do some sort of activity, and then we usually conga out. Has been the thing that we'll be doing, and everyone the classes line with a conga, we conga out, and that's kind of how we wrap it up.
Yeah, this is our template. So we get together, you know, every bi-monthly, and we say, okay, what's the next one going to look like? We change it up each time. We change it up each year. But this is our template that we work off of. Okay, so for your quiz, we're going to play like 15 to 20 seconds of 5 different videos, which are 5 different assemblies of the school year. And your job is to guess which rule we were trying to portray. We're the Eagles. Yeah, there they are. Anyone have any guesses? Enjoy the ride. All right, good job. You're 1 for 1. Okay, this is my favorite. So we can just play this. Lou gets into character.
You know what? Let's show him. I want you to say, I am kind. I am positive. Let's dance this energy vampire away with our positivity.
So then following that, he comes in like 3 minutes later and says, did I miss anything? And he's back to himself.
It's like an ongoing joke, especially at the beginning of the you were the energy man. I'm like, what are you talking about?
All right, so what rule was that? Yeah, no energy vampires, no bullies allowed. Okay, next one. So this guy is our custodian, George, and everyone calls him Mr. George. They love him. He is the forefront of this role for the last 3 years. Any guesses? Love your passengers.
Other passages, yeah.
So George has taken on that role from the first
So he
year.
emulates that.
Yeah.
I mean, he uses the kids love him.
Just like Jim. Perfect. All right, another hat that Lou wears. Okay, so any guesses? Any? Create a positive vision, right? Okay.
So we, for the final this year, for the final assembly, I had 2 students and a music teacher join me. We had a quartet, and we did
It was awesome. It's so funny when the teachers texted us this morning. She was like, "Good luck today. You're going to be great. Did the trombone make it through security?" I was like, "Didn't break it."
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, we got one more video. Sorry. Next one. There we go. If you need anything to go look at the screen. There's a fuel pump. Any ideas? The fuel pump, fuel your ride with, positive energy. Good. Okay, so like you saw for the first video, our final assembly of each school year is special. We usually break them up into grades K to 2 and 3 to 5, but the last one, we put the entire school out on the blacktop in the back of the school. We have Lou and Ashley, our librarian, on the roof getting everyone excited. We usually have the eagle there, but that's what that looks like. And we'll talk a little bit about our Energy Bus Student Committee. So we've implemented that this year, but this is them after one of the assemblies this year. They do not want to leave, so if you could just play that. That's our librarian in the middle. that's what shows us that it's working, because these things are happening organically. We're going to talk a little bit about culture building. We're going to go through some of the things that we do in addition to the assemblies. The U-Rock, the Passages of the Month, our Energy Bus Class Award, our one-word rock garden, and our hallway decorating contest. If you guys can, does anyone want to shout out one word that they think reminds them of a positive school culture? Anybody? Smiles, okay. Trust. Great. We just wanted to share what John says. So culture is dynamic, not static. Every person on your team and organization creates your culture every day by what they think, say, and do. You elevate it by what you think, you improve it by what you say, and you make it great by what you do. So that's really our mission. That's what we're really trying to make happen at Central Boulevard.
So one of the ways that we do this is, I think one of you had this another teacher acknowledgement program, but I think it's important for for us to acknowledge the students, but for the students to acknowledge the staff as well. So I actually stole this concept from one of the other buildings. I like it so much, and you can see the beautiful New Rock was created by an art teacher, and then we have the ballot box that was created by a security guard, believe it or not, and next to it is the ballot, and the students write down the name of the student, and then why they feel like the teacher should receive the U-Rock reward. And this is also a way for students to practice appreciation and gratitude. This really needs to be kind of ingrained that kids aren't just, they practice math, they practice reading, they practice science, but I think it's important, I think we can use it as part of the program to empower them to practice these guys, like appreciating, those, actually at the high school I ran a program, and we had the students talk about like their mentors, and we gave mentor certificates, and it was the same thing. If you look at the smiles on these faces, and not just the teacher, but look at all the students giving this to them, how proud they are to celebrate with them. So, everybody just thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah, that was definitely a great addition this year.
So we have Passages of the Month, and each teacher decides, they pick one student from their class. It's just another version of a Catch a Student Being Good program. We also call it vicarious reinforcement for those who are the behavioral principles. And everybody gets a certificate, and they get their face up on the bus, because they're riding the bus with their single terrors up there, and then there's our principal as well. We have the passenger breakfast, and students are invited to breakfast by invitation that's mailed home so their parents can see and celebrate with them. We did these breakfasts every single month, but that became very unwieldy. So now we just do one in the winter and one in the spring. And we come together, they eat bagels, they have juice, we talk, we laugh, we take a picture, and everybody is very happy.
Everybody's happy. It was a lot doing it every month, and that was like the trial and error. Adding more things isn't always better. So what we did, we scaled it back, made it bigger 2 times a year, and that was definitely beneficial. So some more things that we do the one word. We do that every year, and our kids pick a one word, and our teachers pick one word. But we do it at the beginning of the school year, like what's your vision for the school year? And this year we made a rock garden. So every teacher picked a word. We took a picture. As you can see, we were in a local newspaper, and we have the rocks displayed all outside of Central Boulevard. So that was awesome.
Just about that rule about creating positive vision, and the one word, you can't hit the target unless you know what you're aiming at. And I think it's really important that students know their goals. Like there's a Harvard study that said that people that have goals make twice as much money as those who don't. So I like that, because it happens in like a really tangible, concrete way. So that's how the message gets.
And it's been out there the whole school year. People ask about it. What is this? And and we're only hoping to grow it from there. We also do Energy Bus Class Awards. So this is really just catching the whole class, being role models, and it's simple. So we do this every other month of our Passenger of the Month. So it'll be Passenger of the Month in January, Energy Bus Class Award in February. And they get a little bus trophy, they get certificates, and then we pass the trophy along every 2 months, and the kids love it. So it's something so simple, but it really makes a difference.
So we have a hallway decorating contest every winter. The prompt is instructions on to the teachers. Do something in the winter wonderland. And somehow spontaneously, the energy bus showed up. I ended up, here. This is actually my high school prom picture. And you notice that, decorations on the wall, and we didn't tell them, do something with the energy bus. This was totally spontaneous. So you'll see here some students. I love this one. Join my bus and share my vision. I thought that was incredible.
It's so funny because, like Lou said, it's not an energy bus themed activity. We do a winter wonderland decorating contest just to like bring, the mood up a little bit. And this stuff comes up organically now. It comes naturally because it's ingrained in our culture.
So I'm going to tell you a story really quick. We had a principal retire. He was the one who really initiated this program with Julianne and I. And when he retired, we asked students to put we had footsteps, and they wrote something they remembered about the principal on the footsteps. And I remember walking around, and I think I ran to Julianne all excited. I said, "Did you see what the footprint said? You look all about the energy bus." So that was after the first year. That was a clear indication that some of this was sinking in, because sometimes you don't always know.
So that was 3 years ago, and then a couple days ago, I'm signing 5th grade yearbooks, and they're all writing about it. They gave me a yearbook too, so I'm going to give it to them so they can sign for me. And they wrote all about the energy bus. I'm like, this stuff is working, and it's a really good feeling.
So let's just quickly, I'm going to talk about that first level of the different rings that from the SEL model. Staff class involvement is key. We talked a little bit about buy-in, but so what we do is the librarian will introduce the energy bus concepts in the book, so she'll go over the chapter before we have the assembly. We do class activities. We also do a little bit of we have the teachers involved in the videos, and just a couple of things about teacher engagement. I think everybody said this. It's to give them one more thing to do, but I think you want to inspire through enthusiasm. Julianne and I definitely, and our librarian, if you notice, we lead with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious. Just like positivity is contagious. If you're excited about this program, your school is going to be excited about this program. So, here's just a little bit of a lesson that's in the library. You can see, the students work hard, they're engaged here, learning about the rules.
The best thing about it being introduced in the library is that it's introduced the same way to every student in the building, and it wasn't another thing to put on teachers. I was a teacher, I get it. There's a million things going on, so it was easy to do it that way, and then it shows up organically in the classrooms because teachers are doing whatever they want with it. We give them a bunch of activities, do what you want with it, but we know our kids are getting the instruction during the library classes. Since a kindergartner with their 100-day energy bus, they had to use 100 to make anything they wanted, and she made the energy bus. This is some of our classes doing the one word. Every student made a one word, and we put them around our hallways. This is a 4th grade class doing snowball compliments at one of their morning meetings. That little bus that's all scribbled is a kindergartner's positive vision bus, and then we have 1st graders with their positive vision boards. These are all things that just teachers wanted to do within their classroom, and it's happening all over the building. That's Mr. Fury, our principal, and George, the one with Love Your Passengers, with Lou and I. And we're going to play 20 seconds of this video, but every single staff member in our building is in this video, whether it's the occupational therapist, the custodian, the security guard, they're all in this video, and we showed this at our Love Your Passengers assembly this year.
Hi, Miss Dua. What does love mean?
Well, to me, love means treating everybody with kindness.
Kindness?
At CBS, that means always treating the way that we want others to
Oh,
be
that's
treated.
great, Miss Dua.
It is great.
You can stop it, Jim, but essentially it's just 11 minutes of students interviewing teachers about what love means, what does Love Your Passengers mean, and the kids loved it during the assembly. It's to show kids that teachers are human, right? That we love each other, and it's a real thing. So we also do book buddy classes. This does not revolve around the energy bus, but we like to implement different SEL, skills throughout that. And one of the ones this year was the coffee beans. We wanted to share that. Student involvement.
Yeah, so I really, like I said before, I think student involvement, I heard it called student voice. I like that. I've never heard that term before. I think that, giving students, empowering students towards practicing compassion, acts of compassion. Students need to be actively engaged in in these activities. And, this is the thing too, that they're sick of hearing from us all the time. They listen to us all the time. It's a lot more powerful when they hear this from their peers.
Yes, So we launched this year an Energy Bus Student Committee. You might have heard that a few times throughout the presentation. And basically what that was grades 4 and 5 students were able to apply to become part of the Energy Bus Student Committee. And the reason the application was so important was because students really wanted to be there. It wasn't just, I'm picking you because you're a good kid. It was, these are the kids that really understand the program, they like the program, and what we saw this year was incredible. So basically we met with them monthly, they helped us with assemblies, they were part of the assemblies, they monitored the UROC program, and they make PA announcements over the loudspeaker every Friday. We sent home this in the mail, and one of the reasons that Lou and I knew this was working this year was from the responses we got from the applications. Like, I was sitting at my desk in tears saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe what these kids are writing. So that was awesome to see. That's our Energy Bus Student Committee, some of them in my office, planning and assembly. And these are some of the questions we asked on the application. What does it mean to you? What is one word that comes to mind? Why do you want to be part of the committee? And all of this should be on your QR code. If it's not, our contact info is there so we can share the application with you. We're actually we have a broadcasting club and they interview kids coming out of assembly. We'll just go to the next one. Perfect.
All right, announcements. So this year I chose. So announcements. I think it's really, these announcements are really important. We have our Fuel Your Ride Fridays. So every Friday, the students come on and make an announcement related to the Energy Bus. These give consistent reminders of the principles of the, reinforces these principles. Initially, I wrote scripts for the, last year for the classroom teachers and the support staff. Here's one of the reading teachers here reading an Energy Bus reading themed announcement. And then later on, we have the students. Let me just talk a little bit about announcements. Now, all of you as part of your QR codes, you're going to see I created like a manual, like an announcement manual. So I talk a little bit about how to, create these announcements, and then I have about 30 different announcements. And listen, I'm no wordsmith, all right? But I use technology, I use ChatGPT to write poems that the students read out loud. We're going to hear one of these. But it wasn't just a machine-generated announcement. I sat down with the students to get their ideas about the types of language that I should use that would make it understandable and accessible. See, SEL and mental health and wellness needs to be accessible. There's like so many different distractions. We need it to be something that people feel like they can access.
So these are two of our student Energy Bus committee members doing an announcement. So they do it every Friday. It's ingrained in what we do now.
And it's funny, it's from the members from the Energy Bus Committee. Like, one of the things they need to do is commit to 2 or 3 of these announcements, and we just made it consistent. And just some comments. They were saying, when I asked them, so tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel to do these announcements? And I wrote it down because I'm going to miss the quote. It feels good to be helpful. I find it to be a positive, helpful message in the morning. So, students feel really good about, these kinds of practices of being, it's like they're practicing being kind, they're practicing giving PSAs, like positive public service announcements.
So I think, Lou, we gotta roll past this because we're running out of time. But these are our future plans. We're not done. We're trying to change things up a little bit and move on. But you have this on your QR code if we need it. So where do you begin? The best thing we could have ever done was get Jim in our school because he got the staff on board. So that was a picture of Steve, Jim, and I 3 years ago at this point when he came to talk to our staff. So he never spoke to the students, but he spoke to our staff. And you have to remember to start small and let it grow naturally. That's something that we did. We started slow at first, and then all those things that you saw today, that was over 3 years. But we absolutely love the program, and it takes a village. So we wanted to show what our last day of school at Central Boulevard looks like, which will be on Wednesday, so we're excited to do this again. Yeah, New York goes to school until now. So all the staff stands out in the lobby, and as the kids go after the bus, we all clap for that, for the completion of the school year. Something so simple, but it's the culture that, that makes it.
To me, it just feels like we're celebrating the students, we're celebrating it. We have a gym teacher that comes out, and we can
This is what happens, the next is what happens when the kids leave. So this is our real energy. As you can tell, Luke's like raring to go on the outside. He's ready to get in there. I'm the one behind the camera.
Everybody have their medium or their way of expression, and you find ways to tap that. I think that's more important.
Then it just shows up because it's your culture, and they're happy, they're excited to be there, and then things like that just happen on their own. But we are so grateful that we were able to present here today. We hope to connect with you. We'll be here for the entire networking session if you want to touch base with us. But reach out, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
He can sing, he can dance, he can rap. I wrote about him in the Energy Western Schools book, the guy who did the rap, right? That's Dr. Lewis. So